I want to talk with you just a moment. I'm, again, Chloe Breyer at the Interfaith Center of New York. I'm part of the Circles of Support, of which Network and All Souls and so many of you out there are a part. I want to speak a little bit about what does this idea of a reentry involved house of worship look like. I think this is, for our network, something that is a growing and diverse thing. I alluded to the houses of worship in Harlem that we, as a group, are part of, and many of them are increasingly involved in reentry type work. So what does this look like? In addition to the hosting of the network circles, which Father Morales just talked about, there is an opportunity for volunteers around Harlem to come and work at the Harlem Justice Center. And Amanda spoke a little bit about this, of how on the days that men and women are checking in with their parole officers along a rather institutional-looking corridor, though it's less institutional-looking by the moment since it's got now murals on it. A long line of people are waiting generally to check in with their parole officers. And based on the work that many of us and many of you did as volunteer chaplains with the Red Cross after 9/11, when we were invited to perform a ministry of presence down in those disaster areas at the bottom of Manhattan, with the consciousness that we were in a public place, a public sphere, that people were of different faiths or no faiths at all. And we were simply there to provide, again, a sense of presence, that those people working, digging up their friends were in company. And should they wish to talk, there would be people there to lend a listening ear. The thought was that if there were congregations or volunteers from faith communities around Harlem who would lend their time and their willingness to listen to the Thursday morning activities, that we could perhaps warm up the space and confuse the very pronounced hierarchy that exists in all facets of the criminal justice system. The way that, that officers needed to distance themselves from or be distinct from the prisoners under their care. The judge would be in a separate sphere as well. And our hope was that providing hospitality, muffins and bananas and a cup of coffee would in some senses mix things up a bit and create an atmosphere of warmth and welcome that we don't usually see associated with public institutions. And
does anyone know? I'm sorry.
It's the battery on one of the microphones running down.
Well, so just to pick up,
Space aliens invading.
to pick up a little bit, again, the idea of providing hospitality, and I want, if you wouldn't mind, raising your hand if you're associated with any of these houses of worship that are present with us as they on Thursday morning. St. Andrews? Yes, we got St. Andrews here. We have also representatives from St. Charles Borromeo, Deacon Radcliffe, excellent. St. Michael's, very good, excellent. And St. Philip's, which is my congregation, as well as St. Luke's AME. So these are all folks who have, within the last couple of years, begun to lend their time and their sympathies, and often the food is simply a an entree into conversation and what's on someone's heart at the time. So that's really a model that we would love to, I one day would love to see it work down on 40th Street. I don't think we're quite there yet, but it's a one way of providing. And I want to also acknowledge Episcopal Charities, which is here and which supports this work so well. Leanna, it's really terrific that you're here, and we have gotten a lot out of it, and we think that people in the program have as well. So that's really, I want to close with an example of the way that my own church, the Episcopal Church, and Father Morales' church as well. I think I'm safe in saying that we're somewhat of a liturgical church. Is that?
Oh yeah, that's
Yes. I think I'm safe in saying that, along with the Roman Catholic, and I think. Keeping that in mind, there have been, someone mentioned the idea, I think Deacon Radcliffe, of a monthly kind of offering. And one thing that we've done at St. Philip's in the Sunday in September is to do a prison ministry Sunday. We do it each year. The other great occasion, obviously, is Palm Sunday, when, for Christians, Jesus got seriously involved with the criminal injustice system. And at that time, we also brought up an offering of socks, which are among the items that people coming out generally need a lot of, and they're easy to fit in an offering plate. So that's some of the, the type of things that one can always adjust for one's religious tradition in a way that can spark the imagination of your congregation in giving back or raising this topic to people's attention. So thank you very much, and I look forward to questions.
Thank you, Chloe.